What up, ladies? It's your man, Abuamerican. I'm here to give you some advice. And it's kind of funny because I've tried to start this video like 10 times. And here's the thing. I'm going to try and give you advice. And I'm going to talk about women taking advice. But I'm going to try and give you advice in a way that I know that you women don't take it. But I don't know how to do it because I'm a guy. So here we go. Ladies, I want you to understand that there's no great male conspiracy against you. Men aren't working and struggling and striving together. They're not, conspiring in dark, smoky rooms to hold women back, to put in glass ceilings and, oppress you or anything like this, make bad decisions on your behalf. It doesn't exist, ladies. And if it does, then it's on such a micro, individualistic level that you might as well say it doesn't exist. Most men want the best for women. And if you look at Western society, you see this is true. Because women in the West have been given unprecedented power, freedom, security to the best of their ability, except in places where they've imported mass loads of what's the word? How do you say assimilate in this particular place? Loads of unassimilatable. I know that's not right. Loads of men who cannot assimilate into the culture, and thus, they become a threat to the women, the local women. But in general, you find that when you look at men, even amongst other men, they do their very best to make sure that women are safe, secure, taken care of, that they're happy. Their women in general from their society. In general, that's what men want. And there are some contradictions between what men want and what men think are good and what women think are good. But in general, there's no conspiracy against you. Now, here's the problem between where I come in, and I want to describe to you what men see as the best for you and what you see as best for yourself. You see, so now we have to look at feminism, and feminism complains that they're conspiring against women because men are getting all these great results and women are not. But that's not men's fault. That's women's fault. Why? Because women are bad at taking advice. That's right. I said it. Y'all are bad at taking advice. And that's why you're not getting the same result as men. You say, hey, we're equal to men. We're as good as men. We're as smart as men. We're as strong as men. We're all this stuff like men and all this. There's no significant difference between us. It's not a society because the society offers you unprecedented levels of freedom and security to pursue whatever you want to pursue. Most Western women, at least, when given the freedom to pursue whatever they wanted to pursue, they pursued OnlyFans careers. Strangely, they could have been whatever they wanted, but they picked OnlyFans. That's not all women, though, obviously. Alhamdulillah. But you get my point. There's really nothing preventing you from doing what you want to do. And so why are you not getting the same level of success as men are? Comes back to what I said earlier, because you don't take advice. And you're not taking advice from the people that you're looking at and complaining about their success. If you're looking at a group of people and they're successful and you're complaining about them, like people complain about the small hats, the Yahud. They say, oh, they're always getting all the money and they're all doing this and they're doing that. Well, why aren't you looking at what they're doing and replicating it? They're successful, right? So replicate it. Same. Well, the men are holding us back. They're not holding you back. Men are trying to propel women forward more than ever, to the point that we're seeing inequities actually in reverse now. If you look statistically, women are now making more money than men. On average, college educated women is. So why are you not getting the results? Because you don't take advice well. And you know why you don't take advice well? Because you want advice that feels good. And that's not how advice works. Advice doesn't always feel good. It can't cater to your feelings. Advice is raw information that you follow. Of course, people can be malicious with their advice, but for the vast majority of men out there giving women advice, like stay off OnlyFans, obviously, or we would hope, that the women who watch this channel are not on OnlyFans, because most of these women are Muslims. But like when men say stay off OnlyFans, it's not going to serve you well. It's not going to be good for you in your future when it comes to your children and relationships and maintaining a relationship. And then we see women later on complaining that I can't get a relationship because men are intimidated by my OnlyFans. They're not intimidated by your OnlyFans. You're just disgusting. You're vile. We find that reprehensible to a degree that women can't understand and comprehend. But because that advice didn't come with like a back stroke, a back rub, and I don't know what else you'd require, a foot rub and a pedicure and a manicure, you don't take the advice. And men don't have that luxury. We have to take brutal, hard, and ugly advice. And that's the only way we can give it. Because we're not women. I'm obviously a black male. And if a white guy comes up to me and he has success, I have to look at multiple things here. First off, he has success. That's what's most important to me right there. I was like, okay, you have success. So how can I replicate this? And I don't even look at it as a black male, just as a male. Then later on, if I replicate his steps and I don't get success, then I can start looking at other things like, okay, what society we're in? We're in a white society. He's a white male. Maybe it's because of my color. Maybe there's a cultural thing here to where I don't understand parts of his culture where I could possibly get success as a black male within his culture. But because I'm culturally not adapting to the way that these people operate and understand, I'm not getting the same results. I saw this a lot in the Middle East. There's just cultural differences that I could never bridge. I will never behave in a way that would make me successful in the Khalij, in the Gulf, because it's just so far from my culture and my mentality that I can't do it. So I understood why I had to leave there. So then you can look at like, okay, and if you're doing all that, you're meeting cultural requirements and all these types of things, and then you're still not making, then you could say people are holding you back. But women can't say that. So what it is you're not taking advice. You're taking advice from other people, other women, who are telling you stuff that feels good, but has no practical realities behind it. Oh, you go and you follow your truth, girl, but the truth is something completely different than what your truth actually is. What your truth is what you want to feel. Like we say, as men, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, ladies, but your reality is dictated by your feelings. Well, your truth is obviously going to be different than what the truth actually is if that's how you go through life. I feel like my truth is, because my feelings dictate my reality, I feel like I should have multi-millions in the bank just because I feel that way. That's my reality. Now, when I go to the bank and there's not multi-millions in there, well, what's real? My feelings or my bank account? My bank account. So, ladies, when it comes down to advice, you really have to I'm trying to see, I'm making my own mistake. You have to act like men. Ladies, when it comes to advice, act like men. Men have had to learn game, right? How do women think, or how do they feel through life? And then how do we respond to those feelings so that we can get the best results we can out of women? And men have become successful at it, often to the detriment of women, because this is how they get used and then tossed to the side and used and tossed to the side again and again and again and again and again. Well, here's the keys to success, women. Now this is your turn to actually stop, and we know you can do it. Put those emotions in a box, think, and then come back and say, hey, you know what? This is good or this is bad. I know it's possible because I have a wife that does it. The situation pop up, she doesn't feel good about it, and then she'll actually stop and examine why she's feeling the way she's feeling. That's her first move. It's an amazing thing because it's so rare in women. So I know you can do it. It's just easier not to. I don't know, ladies. I know you're not going to listen, but there's so much bad advice out there right now. And so many of you are like, you're heading into like this new generation, this new brave and ugly world where most of you are going to end up single, without a man, unhappy. Or if you do end up with a man, you're going to end up in a polygynous situation because most men, they're not going to want you. They're not going to want you in the form that you come, which is going to be like, your late 20s to your mid 30s. Okay, can you get a husband as your only husband, a monogamous husband? Yeah, you can. But sister, you got to be so spectacular. And when I say spectacular, no man cares about your degrees. I mean, that means you got to be fit. You're eating right, living right. You have to be feminine. You have to be taking care of yourself. And then, there's such a contradiction there that you're not going to be able to do it. It's impossible. I'm telling you, sisters, you're not going to be able to do it. Because if you reach that age and you're not married, that means you're taking care of yourself. Or you're living with your parents. If you're living with your parents, it's possible. But if you're taking care of yourself and you're going to work and you got a degree and all this type of stuff, you're going to be so in a masculine frame that it's going to be so hard to shift away from that you can't be the woman that the man wants. He actually wants. Sisters, I'm telling you, any guy who marries you in your 30s, when your career, you're working in a career and you have a college education, he's settling. Just like you settle for certain guys, he's settling for you. Because no sane man wants his wife like that. And it's not to say that a man doesn't want a college-educated woman. That's not what I'm saying. It's not go to extremes here. Guys want college-educated women, they can have them. But I'm telling you, if you've reached that age and you're operating in a world, you're going to have attributes that you don't even recognize you have. And you're going to see those attributes as positive. But because we're men and we're different than you, we're going to see those attributes differently than you. And then here comes into what is the truth? What is your truth and what is the truth? So then you have to stop and examine. Okay, I know what I have to offer. I got this and I got this and I'm this and I'm this. And that's, hey, you know what? That's amazing that you feel that way about yourself. But this is a market. It's a marriage market. Is that what the buyer is actually trying to buy? Maybe you have a product nobody's buying. Maybe you're selling a product nobody wants. And so you have to examine yourself. Am I selling a product nobody is on the market for? Or am I going to get premium price? Am I going to get the best deal that I can? Yourself. And sister, yes, it is. It's 100% a sell. It's buying and selling. Because men, you're not going to just take any guy that comes along, right? You're going to pick the best possible man that you can. Multiple guys approach you all the time, right? Guys want to marry you all the time, right? Do you just marry the first one that comes? No, you shop around. What's the best one you can get? You don't think men do the same? Of course they do. And this is what I mean. Many sisters don't want to deal with that type of information. I get to pick and choose what man I want. But when I come along, he should just take me. No, he's picking and choosing what he can get also. Sometimes he takes what he can get, which is you. And sometimes you're what he's looking for. But most of the time, dudes ain't looking. They're not shopping for sisters in the position that I'm describing. They're looking for younger sisters. Even I am. I'm 51 years old this year. I'm looking for women like in their mid-20s. So, and if she's not in her mid-20s, then she's not working, or she absolutely wants nothing more than to get out of the career world. And she has to be spectacular. If she's above her mid-20s. Like I said, she has to be spectacular. That means in looks, in femininity, in submissiveness, and all the things that I'm looking for as a man personally. That's just me. And I talk to men regularly. So I'm not like a unique type, snowflake type of guy. Just what happens is a lot of guys are willing to tolerate a lot of BS because they just want to get married so desperately. And so when a guy comes at you really strong and really hard and you're in your mid-30s and your career, this and you're a power girl and all that, trust me, he's settling. Just because he's pushing hard doesn't mean he's settling. You just seem like a very easy target. And that's what a lot of you sisters are in your mid-30s. You're really viewed as low-hanging fruit. You see, and this is where you have to put the emotions into a box. I know that doesn't sound good, sisters. And I don't want to be offensive. While being offensive, I apologize if you take that as offense, but it's true. I'm giving you the male secrets here. And guys are going to disagree, but if they disagree, then they know that they're either low-value males that can't get younger, prettier women who are more submissive. They know they can't get them because the competition is too strong for those women. And it is true. The competition that a 21-year-old sister, let's say a 19-year-old sister, is going to have in terms of marital suitors, guys who are struggling to try and pick her up and put her and marry her or put her on the team, marry her, is going to be far higher than a sister that's 34, 35, 31, 28, that's university degree educated and working. There's just going to be far more suitors out there for her, pushing way harder to try and get her to join his life. That's just the reality. So, sisters, learn to take advice. And not all advice is good, obviously. But I have no reason to lie to you, sisters. What do I gain by lying to you? I get no benefit in trying to tell you some BS so you end up with some bum brother. I don't want y'all to end up with bum brothers. I want you to end up with the best brothers possible. And that's why I'm trying to give you this advice right now. Yes, get the absolute best brother you can. Just like that brothers should, and I've been telling brothers too, get the best woman they can. But I don't know. Like I always say, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you please. I don't think this advice is going to go over well, but, there's no conspiracy to hold you back. And, with the advice that's being given out there nowadays, it's actually to try and give you a better life. And I hope that you can actually put the emotions in a box. I know you can do it. Stop, step back and look at it and say, hey, you know what? There's something there. Or have somebody in your circle, in your life that can help you do that. Because sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. I got a homie, and when I got a situation I'm stuck, I go to him. He's a white dude, so I know he's going to have like a totally different way of thinking. There's just cultural differences in the way we think. Sometimes you need a girl. Sometimes you need a dude. That's where you got your brothers, your uncles, your fathers, all these stuff. Help you with that type of stuff. Because sometimes you can't separate yourself from the situation. And so you need somebody who is separate from the situation to help you through. But then again, it comes back to getting the advice from the right person. And most of the time, sisters, unfortunately, because of this indoctrination of the West, they can't help you. So it's best to go to somebody who can. And I'm not saying go to no random stranger dudes. Go to your male family members who can help you through these situations if you get stuck. And if you can't see clearly, And this is just life in general. It's not just relationships. I'm not just talking relationships. I'm talking just life in general. But mostly relationships. I don't know if this video made sense, but I hope it made sense. Yeah, whatever. This is your man, Abuamerican. I'm out.